Hello and welcome to the last Randomer Nintendo of the year as of this recording, and the first Ram Nintendo of the year as of your listening. It's Randomer Nintendo 11. I'm Jason. To my virtual... I don't know, you pick a side, Kevin. What side are you on? I'm going to pick you first. Are you on my left or my right today?
I'm in front of you. I'm above you, actually.
Oh, you're in front of me. Okay, and Angel, are you left, right, behind, above, below?
What did it say? I'm on the floor above you. Somewhere.
Okay. Well, in this... So I'm trying to visualize this. So I'm sitting somewhere. Kevin's directly in front of me, and you're floor above just shouting down through, what, an open vent?
No, there's intercoms. No shouting necessary.
Oh, almost like we're actually recording this, where there's microphones and intercoms. Interesting. But yes, it is the final Randomer Nintendo of 2022, which means it is the Quarantinis, our annual awards of everything. Like, literally, there's not a better way to describe it. It's just the things we enjoyed in the year, which we'll get to, I guess, in the back half. How are you guys feeling? Do you have some good picks? Are you ready? Do you have a drink? Do you have a tuxedo?
Nope. I've got water because I caught COVID again. So,
damn.
Oh, well, good thing our Quarantinis are called Quarantinis, because any other award show would be in person.
Yep.
And you'd be spreading that COVID.
Yep.
How are you feeling? You feeling okay?
I'm feeling good. I think everything's passed. The only thing that I had was like a cough that was going crazy the last couple of days, but that's completely gone by now. So I'm feeling all right.
Well, I'm glad it was short-lived. That's good.
This is the third time's the charm, baby. This is the third time that I've had it, and the first two times I was completely asymptomatic, and this time I just had a cough, which, like I said, has pretty much gone away. So good. How? I don't know.
I'm glad your body seems to fight it well. Yeah, to be asymptomatic twice and now only a cough, that's pretty lucky.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Angel? How are you doing? I assume not COVID? You don't have COVID, hopefully?
Yeah, no COVID yet, so I still don't know what that's like.
Same.
Yeah, otherwise, just been chilling, cleaning, fun stuff. Pretty much it. Nothing.
Do you have...
crazy.
With an award show that sounds like martini, I got to ask, do you have anything? I only have water like Kevin, but are you sipping a fine libation as we send out 2022?
Nope. Nothing.
Cool. Sober award show, the best type of award show. It's like a wedding without an open bar. It'll be great.
A sober award show?
I know. I know. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's like a wedding without an open bar. Yeah. Well, that actually begs the question. Do you guys watch? I know the Game Awards we all watch because we've talked about it. Do you guys watch any other award shows at all? Like, is the Quarantinis the most awardee you get?
Correct.
Yeah, same. I typically don't watch any. The most exposure I get is just from you watching them.
Right. It's true. I do. I've been watching them a little less, though, to be honest. Like, I don't know what it is, but they're getting a little more... I mean, award shows in general are kind of a sinking ship, it feels like. Like, the ratings are down, the excitement is down. Well, I mean, like, I think I was caught up in the spectacle of things. And I don't mean, like, celebrities. I mean, like, I like the music-based ones more because there's performances, and those are cool. But even those seem like they're getting a little kind of ho-hum. Like, I remember the VMAs used to do all these crazy elaborate set pieces, and now they're just like, stand in front of this screen, and we'll put a backdrop that fits your song. Okay, now here's another artist with a different backdrop. Oh, we'll add a flower bed on the stage. But they're still mostly the screen. So, like, it loses a lot of its, like, pizzazz, and it's just, like, or even when they do like full virtual, like I think the VMAs this year, like Eminem and Snoop Dogg did like a weird NFT performance, and it was all CG, and it's like, what was the point of this? So, yeah, but award show's great. Ours, Quarantinis. Although maybe we need a new name. Do we need a new name? I guess actually no. It's probably fitting this year because you're quarantined, Kevin. But I feel like the show's name dates back to 2 podcasts ago for us when we had the Quarantine Chronicles, which then became Ram Nintendo, which is now Randomer Nintendo. So do we keep the name? Do we update the name?
I think we keep it. I don't know.
Legacy?
It's too good of a ring to it. I mean, Quarantinis or something.
I was going to pitch the Ernies. I was going to pitch the Ernies because ER from Randomer Nintendo.
No.
And every award show seems to be named after a random person. So Oscar, Tony, Ernie.
I veto.
Okay. Well, we need consensus on that one. So fine. We won't do that. Should we treat this like a real award show, though, where there's, the pre-show with the red carpet except instead of asking what we're wearing, I guess we just talk about the other things we've been up to leading into our awards at the end of the show.
My least favorite part of any award show. Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, no, same. But I mean, I'm not going to Ryan Seacrest this, but like, there's got to be stuff we've been watching, playing, doing. What have you guys been up to? What did you do over Christmas? Like, we got to do the little interviews with with the big stars, us three, before we get to our awards. That's how it always goes.
I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot actually.
Just about everything.
Angel, your brother.
Sounds dangerous.
What? Angel
he said your thinking sounds dangerous.
Angel, your brother, and you, and yourself. You guys love Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Or at least
I'm
he
very
does. At least he
intrigued by
does.
this.
No, yeah.
Where is this going?
Now, your brother likes to bring up this one point about Sonic, about how he's cool. I say, no, he's not. He's not cool. And your brother always repeats the same thing of, what do you mean? He's literally written to be cool. That doesn't make him cool. Like, what's your take on this?
I concur. Are you asking me or Angel?
Angel.
I mean, it's right there. He's written to be cool. Therefore he's cool.
That's not how it works, though. I can't make
who else written to be cool?
You're saying that I can make a lame character. Who's a lame character in anything?
The robot from Mr. Robot.
The robot from Mr. Robot.
What?
All right?
Okay,
lame
there's
as
no
hell.
robot in Mr.
Shut
Robot.
Up. Lame as hell, right?
Yeah.
And if you put on his character description cool as an adjective to describe him, that doesn't automatically make him cool.
Well,
here's a prime
of course
example.
Not, because the design doesn't match that.
Okay, that's exactly the thing with Sonic.
I think what Obus means maybe that he's just designed to be cool. Maybe he's not written to be cool.
No, name.
Not at all.
One name to prove your point, Kevin. Poochie. They did a whole Simpsons episode about a character that was designed to be the coolest thing ever. Was not. Poochie.
Perfect.
I rest my case.
I'm using that against them. Except that.
Yes, that's
very well. But that was also meant to be like an exaggeration of that persona, and it was also voiced by Homer. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's
Sonic. The idea of Poochie was
I do get your point, though.
It was 90s cool distilled into a single anthropomorphic character.
Like
Sonic.
like to Elvis, I feel like Sonic could be the lamest character ever, right? Like he's just lame, and you put cool in his description, and that was like, oh no, well, I mean, he's literally cool. It's in his description. Like that doesn't just make you cool.
It could also just be that like he's just like Big the Cat, liked him for so long that he just
in his name
doesn't even necessarily have a reason. He just really, really likes him. I mean,
and absolutely, you're absolutely allowed to have that, but I just hate giving Sonic the pass that he's cool because it's in his character description. Nothing about it. Well, Sonic isn't.
But Kevin,
cool.
He has quips. He makes quips.
He makes quips.
All cool people quip.
I feel like that's like a whole other discussion we can always talk about.
Now, this is the exact type of hot gossip you need coming out of a red carpet for an award show. This is perfect. So please, Kevin, keep going.
That's really just what I've been thinking about the last couple of days. I hate it when you mix that up.
So, is there anyone in the Sonic universe to you, Kevin, that is legitimately cool, whether or not it's in their description?
Oh, isn't there like a character called Rush or something like that? I think it's something else.
Yeah, like Mega Man's there's a game called Sonic Rush.
Oh, that's Rush.
Yeah, there's a dog called Rush, and there's a game called Sonic Rush that involves a cat named Blaze.
Blaze the cat is pretty cool. I like her.
Because her name's Blaze.
Don't worry about why I like her. They're just cool, okay?
Fair. Okay. Angel, who's your favorite Sonic character if you had to pick one?
Sonic?
Oh, that was an easy answer. Okay.
Yeah, no contest. He's just ready to be cool.
Do you find him cool?
Yeah. Sonic? Oh.
Yeah, I was asking. He's written and designed to be cool. So why
oh my! Oh God! Here we go. Oh God! Poochie.
Not
Just 'cause
because
they
of
Poochie
anything
every time you
he
say it.
does, or because I love his personality in the Sonic Boom show, or just how he's portrayed. Simply because of the press release that says that he was written and designed to be cool. That is why I like
I
him.
don't think there's ever a press release that's like, "We are Sega and we deem Sonic cool," as written in the below
I'm sure
legalese. Like,
something along those lines. I'm
I
sure
don't
there
think
was
that
like
happened
introducing
quite
our
like that.
new like character
Cool character.
for the I don't know, Sega Master System, and they probably used the word cool in there at some point.
I mean, they definitely used the word attitude. Like, he was designed to be like the foil of Mario's like wholesomeness and like homebodiness. Like, Sonic was supposed to be the edgy guy. Yeah, like that. That is true.
Yes,
I rest my
Think
case.
about his eyebrows. Yeah. So, well, Kevin, while you're on your high horse of attacking the Salado family, you got robbed last episode. You're supposed to talk about Vampire Survivor, and Angel just cut you off.
Oh yeah.
Would you like
not
to
robbed because
redeem?
I could have easily stepped in and said, "Hey, what the hell? I want to talk some game." So I just left it with that.
Okay, that's fair. I was gonna say, but do you want animosity on air? I imagine not. So
No,
you're just
no,
taking the high ground.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
But do you want to talk about Vampire Survivor?
I definitely want to talk some video game. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
All right.
It has.
So, Angel. See here? See on?
We scared him off.
I'm waiting for you to finish your sentence.
Oh, Angel. I was looking for a response. Angel. What are you currently running in Marvel Snap?
Still just Ultron Patriot deck.
So I finally got Ultra. So I finally got Patriot. I finally he was in my token shop and I finally picked him up. I'm getting my ass beat with him. I'm running a Patriot Surfer deck, and I just can't figure it out. I just keep getting beat.
Yeah, I don't go the Surfer route with him.
No,
I mean, it seems like you go either one way or the other. It's like you either treat a Surfer deck as just like a Patriot deck, just without Patriot, or you go the Patriot route but without Surfer. But I mean, obviously there are decks that have both.
Yeah. And some of those have been pretty good. Like I keep on the subreddit, people keep saying that that Surfer Patriot deck's really good, but maybe I just don't have the right cards. Maybe I need a Mystique or a Wong or something to.
Yeah, you definitely need a Mystique. I mean, to give you an example, just like what I run, like I have like a Wasp, the Hood, Squirrel Girl, Misty Knight, Shocker, Mystique, Patriot, a Cosmo to counter Patriot counters, Khazar, Blue Marble, Onslaught, and Ultron.
Yeah, I still don't have. Maybe Mystique is what I need.
Yeah, Mystique is crazy because if I play the Patriot early, then I could Mystique that. If I never draw the Patriot and I draw like Khazar or Blue Marvel, then I could Mystique those, or even sometimes Mystique the Onslaught, depending on the situation.
Yeah, I finally got Arrow.
Definitely.
So
push it. Oh, that's a good one.
We'll see how that works. Anyways, Vampire Survivors.
Real quick.
So I've been playing this game.
Okay, fine. I'm just gonna note real fast that I was like, "Hey guys, I'll host it because I need to avoid the Marvel Snap conversation." And I got us 12 minutes in, and then just lost complete control of the whole show.
Have you played it yet?
It took 12 minutes. No, I was traveling. That's my excuse.
That's no excuse.
It's in Utah.
Mobile game.
It's a mobile game.
Play for like 5 minutes or less.
I play at work.
Well. That's
you just
bad work ethic.
Choosing not
Kevin.
to. That's all it is.
All right. Anyway, Vampire Survivor. Okay, you're saying Kevin.
Yeah. So aside from Marvel Snap, which we're not done with this conversation, Angel. I've been playing this game called Vampire Survivors, which is essentially an 8-bit over-the-head twin-stick shooter where you actually do none of the shooting, you just do the moving of the character. You're dropped into an endless, like, sprawling map with hordes of waves of enemies that are coming to kill you, and so all you have to do is just survive a specific amount of time depending on the level. So it is what that is what it is. As you're defeating enemies, they drop EXP in the form of like little gems that you collect to fill up your EXP bar. And then when it's filled up, you get 3 options to choose from, and these options can either be attribute power-ups like increasing your max health or your speed, or new weapons or upgrades to weapons that you may already have. And like I said, you yourself are not pressing a button or multiple buttons to use your weapons. The game will automatically, quote-unquote, shoot for you. And the weapons vary from a whip that shoots a line in front of you, just like it would in the Castlevania. There's a cross that you shoot in front of you that boomerangs back behind you. There's an item called the King Bible, where a Bible will appear in front of you and then do like a little circle around your character, like an area of effect attack, and you're just beating people with the Bible, which is pretty fun. And that's it. You're just trying to survive as long as you can and get your enemy kills counter up as high as you can, and it's just freakishly addictive. And the reason being is like 15 minutes into a run, you've got 4 or 5 upgraded weapons that are just mowing down like an entire screen worth of enemies, and all you're doing is moving your character. It'd be a pain having to press a button for all of these, so it's like a really smart move on the devs to not throw so much control at you, because like 15 minutes into a run, your entire screen is full of ghouls and werewolves and bats and knights, and I can see you getting pretty overwhelmed with having to manage 4 or 5 weapons and their cooldowns. I've only had about 6 hours of playtime, so I know that this game has like secrets, but I've only unlocked a couple of those, which are like some hidden weapons that you get depending on the attributes or weapons that you decide to choose when you do level up. I still haven't unlocked like all the stages or all the different characters that there are, and they each have their own attributes. But the stages themselves do each feel like unique. The first map is like this ever-expanding swampy forest, and the second one is a never-ending library that just goes from left to right. And then the third one is called this dairy plant, which was actually pretty simple. But now I'm currently stuck on the 4th level that's called Gaio Tower, which the map just goes up and down. It's not this like infinite space the same way that the swamp or the plant felt. As you play, you're collecting money that in the main menu you can use to upgrade the attribute bonuses that you'll pick up during a run. So there is a small sense of progression, and the game does have achievements that do unlock new secrets and more levels. So, and those achievements are always public, so you can just see like, oh, what should I do to get this? Oh, that's all I have to do. Easy. For a game like this where like all you do is move a character, it's super fun. It's super addictive. I'm gonna be putting a lot of time into this game. And this is the only game that I foresee in the future giving Marvel Snap a run for its money in terms of like where I throw my gaming time into for sure. Right now it's out on Steam. I don't think it's available anywhere else, but
mobile, iPhone, and Android. They announced it at the Game Awards.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think it's free to play on mobile. But this game will definitely be perfect on Switch whenever it does decide to rear its head onto there. That's a Vampire Survivors.
So is each run, when you like do a run, are you starting? Do the weapons carry over, or do you start and you have to like find the weapons in the space every time and then?
Nope. You start. You start at level 1, and
you start fresh. Yeah.
When you level up, you then maybe instead of going the cross, you want to go the garlic route, which does this little area of effect around your character that will automatically damage enemies. Or maybe instead you want to do the axe instead of the whip, which the axe instead of the whip which shoots forward, the axe shoots up, so you'll take care of enemies above you. So it's definitely a roguelike in terms of like in terms of choices that you're given, and a roguelike in the sense of like every run is always going to be different. It's never going to be the same.
Right. That's kind of where I was starting to go with that train of thought. Yeah, as if it's a roguelike. It sounds like it's like a horde mode, like a twitchy horde mode roguelike, essentially, if I were to combine different gaming terms.
I don't know if it's twitchy. Yeah.
Is it not like rapid? Because you're saying it's like a twin stick shooter, right? Aren't those pretty twitchy?
It's a twin stick shooter.
A more like paced.
It's a twin stick shooter where you do know the shooting. So
right, there.
But yeah, all you're doing is just moving around.
Gotcha.
Nothing twitchy about just moving your character from left to right, up and down.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I've heard so much about, like, it blew up in the last, like, what, 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah.
Maybe a little longer. Yeah.
It's only like $3 on Steam. So that's why I decided to pick it up.
Not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you played it, Angel, at all?
No, I have not.
Same. Well, I guess while we're talking indie games, unless there's something else you want to say about Vampire Survivor, or I guess Marvel Snap, if you want to dip back in.
No, that's it.
Oh, I was worried I opened a can of worms there. Whew. But yeah, while we're talking indie games, there is one I've been playing I also wanted to talk about as kind of my, like, red carpet interview for the award show, if you will. I guess the first thing is, did either of you guys keep up with Nintendo's Inside the House of Indies holiday event at all last week?
Of course. No, just kidding.
All right, so I don't know if in that case, let me explain a bit. So clunky name aside, it was actually this fun little indie world campaign Nintendo did going into Christmas. Instead of there being like a single presentation with a bunch of games, they spread them out advent calendar styled. So each weekday had 3 or 4 new games, sort of, you know, some were like teasers of 2023 releases, others were surprise shadow drops. And what was fun about it is it gave a nice little burst of stuff on Switch, like new stuff on Switch at a time that we typically don't get much at all. And it was multiple batches. It was literally like kind of unwrapping a new gift every day, sort of. Like it captured that feeling really well. And sometimes they were, you know, unexpected reveals. I think there's like a Risk of Rain remake they revealed, or like a Switch port of Mortal Shell, which I know has had its moment on other platforms in the past. But the best were the shadow drops. You know, Sports Story got released at long last. There was one inspired by Rhythm Heaven called Melatonin that I, of course, immediately texted to you, Angel, which I think is probably the first you heard of the House of Indies event when I sent it. Actually, I don't know if you know, Angel, there's 2 Rhythm Heaven-inspired indies coming to Switch. So Melatonin's out now, and then like 5 days later, separate from this event, another one called Bits and Bops was announced. That's coming out sometime in the next year or so, I think. Regardless, the one shadow drop game that I downloaded after seeing it on this event was a previously unannounced release from shin'en Entertainment, who I always thought was called shin'en, but they're actually called shin'en. And it's a game called the Punchuin, which stars a penguin who punches, hence Punchuin. Now, if you know shin'en, you know their signature thing is making games that really push a system's hardware to its limits. Most recently, that's been the case with games like Fast Remix or The Tourist, but if you go all the way back to the DS games, they were doing it with stuff like Nano Stray. The Punchuin is not that. Like, out are all the 3D polygons, and in is this like wintry pixel art of a penguin and a knitted beanie and lots of blocks that you need to punch. Because the thing about the Punchuin is, at first glance, it looks like a cutesy 2D platformer starring a punching penguin, but it's actually more of a cutesy 2D puzzle game where instead of a cursor, you're acting on the blocks with said punching penguin. Really, the best way I could probably describe the game is this puzzle league or panel de pon, take your pick, by way of Mr. Driller. So you control the penguin as you would any platforming mascot, but for the most part, you're only really controlling him inside these caverns that just so happen to be the exact shape and size of a typical match 3 puzzle like playfield. And the bulk of this puzzle solving has blocks slowly lowering down from the top. Many are colored blocks so you can line up horizontally or vertically in sets of 3. And then they'll erase when you do, you know, very, very puzzle league, right? And you'd match them up by moving them either vertically or horizontally, like I was saying, but you punch them to move them in that direction. And then along with the color blocks, there's also these ice blocks that if you directly punch will shatter after 2 or 3 hits. And these often contain items or power-ups to help you better match the remaining blocks. Some may destroy the blocks of a single color, others may temporarily freeze time, you know, all that typical puzzle game stuff. Quite a lot like Mr. Driller, actually. And you can also buy some items in the shop, such as bombs, to further assist you. And then as this little penguin guy, it's your job, just like Mr. Driller, to move around the blocks and start knocking them where they need to go. The difference is that in Mr. Driller, in a way, he's basically a replacement for the cursor. Like, he kind of moves, but very, like, rigid, like a, you know, like it would be an arrow pointing instead. But here, the penguin is still very much abiding by the rules of what, like, a little platforming mascot would do. So that means, for example, there are physics involved. You're running, you're jumping. There are upgrades to unlock, like double jumps and ground pounds. If you punch a block and there's nothing to stop it in its path, it could slide multiple blocks over because they're all slippery. If you knock a block off the side when there's nothing below, it will fall off the screen and be gone forever, just like an item in or an object in a platformer. And all this together means it's not just about knowing where you want to place the block, but you're utilizing the physics of the game to get the block where it needs to go. Whether that means purposefully, leaving other blocks to stop one from sliding, or accidentally, having things fall into place, or unlocking moves like the double jump I was mentioning before to make sure you can reach certain heights of a vertical stack and you hop over. It's combining platforming and puzzling in this kind of cool way. And for the most part, this all adds to the overall experience, like the platforming elements. But I'd be lying if I said that sometimes it feels like needing to platform around doesn't, on some occasions, get in the way as well, especially early on when you're still trying to get a feel for the ins and outs of the game's physics. And even still later in the game, there are times that blocks behave not quite as I expected. Maybe they slid further, or maybe they just acted a little weird. There's also a pretty notable ramp up in the game's difficulty, where even if you do master the moves and do understand what's happening, it can still at times be tricky just to complete what you want to do. But what's really nice along the way through all this is that there are other types of activity that utilize the same basic mechanics of the game. The game's basically divided into a mountain you traverse in a very Mario 3 style overworld. You unlock these different regions. They contain individual puzzles that are kind of their own levels. You unlock them using gems you earn from completing other past puzzles. And all the standard block falling ones have their unique layouts and specific goals to achieve, like perhaps needing to clear 2 rows of red and 2 rows of green, or another one will be clear 3 purple and 1 red, or that sort of thing. But each region also has these other activities. There's some where the blocks are already all placed and you just figure out how to clear them without any blocks sliding off the stage. And then there are others where you just do kind of sillier activities, for lack of a better word, that are using the punching mechanic and the physics, like trying to slide a box to a goal with one big boxing glove wall up, or playing basketball by punching a ball towards a hoop, or that sort of thing. So there's a nice variety in that, and it does help you kind of figure out the mechanics of the deeper physics and stuff. And what brings it all together is this super nice kind of throwback platformer aesthetic. Shin'en may not be pushing the switch in terms of the underlying graphical power with this game, but they still paid really great attention to detail with the pixel art, the sound design, the music. There's even a CRT TV filter you can apply that actually curves the edges of the screen and everything. And the whole thing's just really, it just feels really polished and nicely done. And it's not a super long experience. It's hard to give a proper playthrough time since it ramps up difficulty as much as it does, and I'm not quite done with it, so I couldn't properly say one anyway. But to give you an idea, on an hour-ish long flight the other day, I got through about the first 31% of the game. So assuming, with the difficulty ramp up, that'll slow down, you're looking at maybe 4 or 5 hours, I don't know. But the experience itself is super fun. It does a really great job of putting a more unique spin on a typical match 3 puzzle game. I'd say the platforming elements, they do add a lot. So even when there's the occasional, odd physics or difficult movement or moments, I'm still wanting to keep playing. I didn't ever feel like the game was frustrating. It was hard, but it wasn't frustrating per se. I never really stopped. And I didn't expect this when I downloaded it, and I didn't even know this game would have existed a week ago. But coming out of it now, I have to say, sitting here now, it's quite possibly my favorite puzzle game of the year, simply because of how it blends its ideas together. It's $15 on the eShop right now. If it sounds up your alley, I'd definitely say give it a go. It's kind of cool. It was in the middle of the whole House of Indie stuff, so just wanted to draw a little attention to it because it's a really cool, very different from Shin'en experience that they put out. So that's what I've been playing, was the cool. Punchuin. Yeah, it's fun. It's very cute. Very, for lack of a better word, just has a cute aesthetic. I don't know how else to describe it, but yeah, it's a good time. Cute, yeah. Now that I've noticed now that I have pets, I use the word cute more. It's interesting. I never used to say cute, but now the cat's doing this adorable thing or this cute thing, and I just started using the word more.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong at all. Yep, cute and adorable. Great vocab. Great words to add to my dictionary. Angel, have you been, besides or even including Marvel Snap, have you been playing anything of note at all?
No, I just haven't had time to play any video games as much as I wanted to.
That's fair.
Just Marvel Snap. Not even... Oh, and I guess Brawl Stars. Brawl Stars is still going strong. They keep adding new creative brawlers, changing game mechanics. It's definitely it's becoming more and more my favorite free to play model, at least for this style of game. They actually just did away with their loot boxes and everything randomized. Like it's all just I guess a rewards track for lack of a better term. Like before you would
battle pass.
like they still have a battle pass of sort, but again it's like mainly just like cosmetic stuff or just like unlocking a brawler sooner. But yeah, it's just you're just playing it for the merits of the game. There's like no real huge advantage for like getting the battle pass or anything like that. Just go kind of like Marvel Snap. Like they're both going in the same direction. Like Marvel Snap with those little the credit system. I already forgot what they're called.
Credits.
The credit system
Or the tokens.
The token. There you go. With the token system and I guess Brawl Stars with their credits. I guess that's what those are called. Where if you accrue enough of them, you just unlock a new brawler instead of opening a box and hoping to get a brawler. But most of the time, you get like currency or other random stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much been.
It does seem like randomized boxes are on the way out in general in gaming.
Yeah, which is good.
Which is good.
I don't agree.
Depends.
You don't think so?
Though?
Or you don't think it's good, or you don't think they're leaving?
I don't. Mainly because Overwatch has fumbled it so bad that people want loot boxes back. Somebody just needs to make the right battle pass.
Right.
Like
I was reading about Overwatch. It's crazy. Like thousands of hours just to get a character, or you have to pay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not thousands of hours. It's not thousands of hours to get a character. Like, it's definitely up there. You're definitely gonna be putting in, I don't know, like maybe 20 to 25 hours to get a character. But before, characters were free. Like a new character came out and you just had it. Now they're putting it on the battle pass if you buy it, like right at the beginning, or you just have to grind for it. And if you don't grind for them, you have to. They've stated that like later on you'll get them for free, but you're just completely blocked out of a character who might be part of the meta. It's Overwatch 2 is such a garbage piece of, and not the game itself, the business dealings around.
Well, it's the same.
Just garbage.
It's the same with Diablo Immortal, right? On mobile, like everyone liked the game, but the monetization that Activision Blizzard implemented was just like horrible. Like that seems to be a running theme here with Activision of late. Yeah. Maybe who knows? I was gonna say maybe if Microsoft does end up getting to acquire them, if the FTC lawsuit.
Although
fails
I've heard
maybe they'll clean it up.
I've heard the Call of Duty Battle Pass for this new game is all right. It's not the worst. So,
how do you guys actually feel about should Microsoft get Activision Blizzard at this point? What do you think?
No.
You think it's gonna be too anti-competitive?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think Angel cares.
Angel, do you have? Yeah, he probably doesn't. I do think Angel. Do you care?
Not enough info to make a valid point.
That's fair. I do think it's pretty amusing to see how Microsoft is trying so hard to make it happen that they're just calling up Nintendo being like, "Want Call of Duty for 10 years? We'll give you Call of Duty for 10 years." And Nintendo's like, "Yeah, okay." And then they put out this press release that gets this whole, Call of Duty coming to Switch, which would be great. But it's just funny how like they're moving mountains to make this deal happen, and I don't think it's going through. It's Microsoft kind of with Bethesda and how they made some of those games exclusive after saying they wouldn't, kind of put themselves in a weird spot for this. Like I don't think they can convince anyone. But anyway, that's something that may unfold in 2023. But we still have a little bit of 2022 to do. Shall we get to the Quarantinis?
Let us do it, brother.
Okay. What category? Well, Angel, you said you weren't playing a whole lot of games outside of stuff you've been playing like Snap and Brawl Stars. So if we're already looking at games you've played, should we start with favorite game of the year? And Angel, do you want to kick it off since you haven't had a game to talk about in depth?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Right,
I guess for game of the year, outside of movies, because that was mainly the first half of the year, Yeah, there weren't a lot of things to pick from, but definitely did going through my list did find like a lot of tough calls to make, even with the few options I did have. But
Oh, actually,
for
sorry. I'm going to cut you off real quick. Sorry. I realize we should tell the listeners who don't know. So, the Quarantinis, the definition of what makes a favorite or best game of the year is an experience, game, movie, TV show, whatever, that's new to each of us. It doesn't have to be something that came out in 2022. It's something we experienced for the first time or greatly enjoyed in the year 2022. So, I feel like we need that little bit of context before you launch into what you were saying. Sorry. Continue.
yeah, and I guess the game that left the biggest impact from me, or the one, just the one I feel like the best is just Monster Hunter Rise. I think that one kind of got a resurgence with the PC release. I kind of fell off of it a little bit on the Switch, but then I started playing it again with my brother, and yeah, I almost beat the game again. And we only stopped just because I got really busy, but we're definitely planning to get back on it. And yeah, it just definitely gave me that sense of like, yeah, I'm definitely back on the Monster Hunter wagon. I definitely needed that hiatus that I took through all of World as much as I wanted to play it. I even tried, but it just wasn't happening. But I'm glad I'm still into Monster Hunter. Looking forward to whatever they bring next. And yeah, it's thanks to the PC version just kind of giving it a second wind. And I'm still planning on playing the
Did
Switch version just with other friends.
did Sunbreak, the expansion, come out on PC or was it Switch first?
I think it came out on both simultaneously.
Oh, okay. So you have it, in other words.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was
Because if I'm
between
not mistaken, Sunbreak was this year, right? Like it actually did come out in 2022,
yeah, I
right?
think it came out in June or something like
Yeah,
that.
that sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, it was between that and Shredder's Revenge. It was really close, but I think I just gave it to Monster Hunter just because it was a franchise that I was starting to worry if it was going to have legs, at least like for me specifically. I know obviously Monster Hunter is going to go on forever,
Hmm.
but yeah, Monster Hunter Rise is definitely at least showed right now that wherever Capcom's taking it, whether it's back to a more traditional Monster Hunter format that World didn't have, which I guess could be my preference, but I also just didn't really play World because I was just kind of burnt out. So maybe I would like the World format better, but regardless, I'm definitely ready for the next one. Like I'm a couple. I'm trying to remember how many Monster Hunters I played in a row before I got burnt out. It was like Monster Hunter Tri, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter Generations, Monster Hunter. I think one of them again, Generations Ultimate on the Switch, and then yeah, and then I think I just stopped there. So it's like 4 or 5 Monster Hunters.
That's a
Just came
lot of a
out
very
so fast.
similar game.
Yeah, they just came out
Aren't they
really
very
close
similar?
together. Yes and
Yeah.
no. Yeah, they're like akin. You could compare them to like Smash Brothers. Like they're
Okay.
similar enough to like a passerby, but and most people, but there's enough like little changes between them that makes them like really interesting. But yeah, Rise just does so much quality of life like improvements, or just things that are like you end up saying, "Man, I can't believe this wasn't always in the game," or "I can't go back to how I used to play in the other one," because a lot of things just work, or just they got rid of a lot of the tedium, which a lot of people kind of like that about Monster in the beginning, like to make like a I don't know, let's say I guess a net to trap a monster. Before you would need to craft a actual like a bug catching net. So you would need sticks and spider webs. They would need to combine those to make the net. Then you need to go out and catch the bug. And then you would have to get the bug to get, that other thing that you would need to craft, I guess, the trap or the net. This is an example. That's not the actual recipe. But now, like, you don't need to craft a bug net, or a fishing rod or anything. You just go up to where the bugs are and you just press A and you just collect the bug, and that's it. A lot of stuff has just been simplified that way. And or part of the one of the bigger, smaller ones is, you would also have to craft or buy different types of pickaxes. From weakest to strongest, depends on how many hits it can tolerate. And you would go to ore, and in the past you would have to hit it. You hit it with A, you get one item, hit it again, get one item, and you rinse and repeat until the ore disappears. In the newer ones, or in Ride, you just hit it once and you get all the things you would possibly get from it at once, and that's it. You just keep going. So there's a lot of that. There was a ton of that all over. It just makes it a more fun experience overall. But yeah, that's mine.
I feel like we need to give a little credit to Shredder's Revenge being a runner-up, considering it's a genre you previously didn't even like.
That's what made it tough.
Being Game of the Year.
That's what made it tough, because it was like, wow, not only was this game good, but it kind of like pushed past my prejudices of this genre, and I actually really enjoyed it. Or at the very least, modern beat 'em ups. Like, I did go back and play a little bit of Turtles in Time on the arcade machine we have, and I was like, fun for a bit, but it's still kind of annoying. You're definitely not playing it to play the game. You're definitely playing it just to have. It's like the background noise equivalent of a video game, but when you're playing with friends, like you just kind of have it on just so that you guys can have something at your hands and your eyes are looking at, but you're not really paying attention. You're just kind of messing around. That's what the old.
And it's
but obviously, it's still quality. The music's still catchy. The visuals are still fun. So like, it does all those things right. But that's just how I'm looking at old school beat 'em ups now. Like, not something that I'm supposed to like, oh, I messed up, or anything to be like, sweaty over. It's just fun background noise game. Modern ones definitely seem to actually want you to pay attention to tells and memorize attack patterns and that kind of stuff, which this one definitely does. But yeah, Monster Hunter Rise.
Congratulations, Monster Hunter Rise. Kevin, what's your pick?
It is Marvel Snap. Like, it came out of nowhere. I'm playing it right now. I'm getting my ass beat by this one guy who played Wong and Thor with a Mjolnir on Onslaught Citadel. The only people that will know that is Angel, really. Angel, he has
a lot of power.
He's got 160 power, 172 power, 184 power on Bar Sinister right now. But I just won with a bar with no name, because he's Scorpion, all my characters into the negative, so I still won that.
And this game they make a play that ends up like screwing them over completely.
This game is like, this is what this game is made for. For moments like this, where now I'm just gonna take a photo of this, put it into the Discord, and say F this guy for thinking that he was gonna win that. Oh, I should have snapped.
Yeah, the randomness is also really awesome.
Look at this, Angel. Look at this.
Yeah, send it over. It reminded me, like, the other day, I had a game that I was completely going to lose. I had no right to win it whatsoever with my Patriot deck.
Uh-huh.
I was just off by, like, a little bit of power, like 4 power in every location to win.
Uh-huh.
But the person decided to play Scarlet Witch on their last turn. And they ended up creating Central Park, which gave me a squirrel in every location.
Every location, and plus, yeah. That's fantastic.
And all they had to do was just not play Scarlet Witch, and they would have won. But yeah, it's just like, what are the odds? I'm sure someone can calculate that.
I put it in Discord.
Oh, geez.
He thought he had me so bad. He thought he had me.
And the negative and the claw.
Nice. Perfect. I love this game. Marvel Snap. Play it.
I can't relate to any of that, but I'm glad you enjoyed it so much.
But
I could if I wanted to. You're right.
Yeah, you just don't want to.
Well, you know what? That's my New Year's resolution for 2023, which by the time people hear this means I have to have already started because this goes up on January 1st.
Well, the last time you made a resolution, it did actually go through with, what was it, Mario? Yeah, we're actually going to beat it? Or
that was for discussion.
There was a game you actually beat. It wasn't the craziest game, but it was still...
There's something small that
it was Zelda. It was Zelda. It was A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
It wasn't a long time ago.
I don't think it was a New Year's resolution because I did.
I think it was just. I think it was just a bet.
I had to do it by New Year's, so I did it in like a 7-week window. Yeah.
Wow.
From when it came out till New Year's, I think.
Well, at the very least, get to like rank 20 in Marvel Snap. I think that's like a fair.
This is my New Year's resolution.
I think that's like a fair like you actually like played it and not just like, I turned it on, played a game or two. Like I think trying to get to rank 20. That's like you could either win 3 times with like full snap and get it, or it might take a little while. But yeah,
if I didn't snap and double my odds or double my whatever, how long would it take? I guess 6 games, 7 games if I win them all.
if you want them all, I guess 10 games because 10 times 2 is 20.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Assuming they don't snap. If they snap and you don't snap, then that's 4, and you would only need to win 5 games. But
gotcha.
it just keeps getting cut in
that's
half.
my New Year's resolution. I'm glad we sorted that out. But going back to 2022, I guess I should say my favorite game, huh? My award winner.
No, we could skip it.
This one was
What's next category?
Oh, okay. Anyway, next category. No, I was gonna say this one was actually kind of hard for me this year. I noticed that in 2022 in particular, when I was looking back to figure out what game I'm going to pick, the experiences that stood out to me were those that basically stood out amongst their own series. Like, if that makes sense. Like, what I mean is, for as much fun as something like Survival Bowling may have been when I first got Switch Sports, or I guess now Survival Golf is as well, or as souped up and streamlined as like Splatoon 3's experience was, they were kind of more of what we've gotten within those franchises, like sort of similar to what you're saying about like Monster Hunter Angel, like how there's, there were some that were very similar, and then there's some that are a little different. And the games that truly, to me, felt like the most fun were the ones that broke the mold of their franchises, which, funny enough, they both did by actually merging in ideas from other franchises. Like my runner-up was Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which stuck out to me because it did something no Kirby game did. It basically shoved Kirby and the entire copy mechanic inside a 3D Mario 3D World game, essentially. And it worked really well because of it. It was, it was familiar, but it also felt really fresh. Like mouthful mode was, was a fun way to play with the 3D space, and it all had this great level of polish to it. But the game that takes the cake for me at doing that, and is now, as a result, my game of the year, has to be, I think, Pokemon Legends Arceus. And again, it didn't do anything new for video games, but combined a lot of existing ideas to present something more akin to the core Pokemon franchise, just in a nobly different way than the rest of the franchise. Like, you can trace all its inspirations really easily. The way the Pokemon interact with one another and the environment that was very Pokemon Snap-like, the open world being sort of contained Monster Hunter style into like these areas that you expand into was, one, it was obviously very Monster Hunter-like, but also has some roots in the wild area of Pokemon Sword and Shield. But then they went for this kind of more exploratory yet also action-y approach to how you interact with the Pokemon. You can throw berries at them, very much like apples in Pokemon Snap. You can sneak up on them and lob a Pokeball, sort of like the stealthier aspects of Breath of the Wild. And because it wasn't a true Pokemon game in the like core franchise sense, they got to have a little fun with how the story progressed, with what the main purpose of the game was, like just catching as many as you can, which is very much my type of Pokemon experience. And even, they did weird things like that space-time distortion system that just piled in a ton of unique Pokemon, also very fan-servicey Pokemon for you to engage with, just like boom, 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 back to back. There's perhaps a case to be made that Scarlet and Violet, glitches aside, took a lot of Legends foundational ideas even further and sort of more directly married them with even more of what a core Pokemon experience is. But, even when I was talking about Scar and Violet a couple episodes ago, and I was sharing those initial impressions, I was talking about how I missed the ability to just like lob Pokeballs at Pokemon or some of the other streamlined aspects. And thinking about the two games when I was kind of reflecting on them for this, I think Legends just resonates a bit more with me because of the exploration and sneaking it requires, yes, but also, which Scar and Violet does too, but also because it was a little more actiony in how it did it. Like, it's more of an action game, and that just really clicked with me, as, of course, did the inclusion of Bidoof, which Scar and Violet is sorely missing, I might add. There's no Bidoof in Scar and Violet that I'm aware of. So yeah, I think that's my pick, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Although, I do want to give one quick shout to Fall Guys for being the perfect pick-up-and-play experience, and that it's online and it's multiplayer. But
that should be your New Year's resolution as well. Add that on there.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Paperclip it. Paperclip it to the other one.
Yeah, okay. I'll staple them together. But yeah, Fall Guys, like that, what a great game at making it so you're 100% responsible for your own performance, even though you're in an online space. Like, it doesn't matter if you're new to it, if you played it a lot. Like, you just have to get to the end, and it's very unlikely that someone's going to hinder your progress. It's all on you. And I think that's such a cool thing that they were able to find that balance, even though I still don't have a crown. Yeah, so I guess that's another New Year's resolution. But yeah, Pokemon Legend Arceus is the one that I think ultimately takes the cake for me. So congratulations to our games of the year. Monster Hunter Rise, Marvel Snap, and Pokemon Legends. Shall we move on to favorite movie that we saw in 2022?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Who wants to go first?
Guess I could just go.
Go for it.
Let's see. Yeah, my favorite movie. There was a lot of great movies this year that I didn't realize I watched. Like, Everything Everywhere All at Once. There was even other stuff that wasn't like, like amazing, but I felt like, I thought The Bad Guys was like really great just visually. I know the story was fine, but Bad Guys kind of surprised me. I think that actually came out this year, but it was on Netflix and I just checked it out.
Yeah, it came out in April. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, and then other stuff that, I don't know, Top Gun was also great. Oh God, Fat Albert was kind of surprising. It was disappointing that it wasn't.
Oh man.
Like, yeah, that one.
That movie's like too, like, it has no business being that good. It's not good per se, but it has no business
wholesome.
being as good as it is.
It was supposed to be a bad movie we could point and laugh at, and
like we had like
for context. Yeah, we were looking. So I think a year ago, I think we all watched Transformers. The one with the medieval stuff.
The last night.
What was it? Yes, and we were trying. So we all hung out in person, just for listeners, and we were trying to find another movie we could ridicule to that degree. And we found Fat Albert on Prime Video, and we're like, it has to be. I mean, a young Kenan Thompson can't save this thing, even though Keenan's great. And yet, yeah, it wasn't bad. Like, we were ready to, like, sort of heckle it. Nope. We just had a good time.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was so strange.
So as much praise as that's getting, that is in my movie of the year. My movie of the year is actually Mad Max Fury Road. This year was the first year that I got to watch it in black and white mode.
Nice.
That was my first. So my first time watching it was with that visual aesthetic, and it was awesome. I don't know what it was about it when it first came out, or just that genre that kind of turned me off. But in general, I've kind of had a more try before you judge mentality. I feel like I've been trying to get better about that. I feel like I've just been getting better about that in general. I don't know when I really started doing that, but I gave it a shot and I came out of it going like, damn, that was just a really awesome movie. Visually, it was entertaining the whole time. Loved the character. It was just awesome. I just wish I have seen it in theaters now. I was just like, damn, this would have been super awesome to see, like, on a huge screen with amazing speakers. I could maybe try to replicate that as best as I can, but I definitely want to watch this movie again. I saw this, like, I don't remember when. Oh, January 30th. My little thing.
I literally saw that movie Tuesday.
Oh, really?
I watched it with my dad. Yep, I watched it on Tuesday with my dad.
That's funny. It's a really good movie.
It's a fantastic. It's probably one of the best action movies of all time, I would say.
Yeah. It's been interesting to see how it has already permeated through culture. Like, there's already references to it in so many other things.
Yeah.
And it's only been a few years. Yeah, that's how you know the sign of a real, like, big movie. Like, a good, milestone movie for pop culture is when stuff starts referencing it that quickly.
Yeah, keep the bar on. What about you, Kevin?
It's not the best movie by a long shot, but I had a fantastic time.
It's not Spider-Verse again, then.
What?
I thought you were going to pick Spider-Verse again, because I know you did see that again this year.
Oh, yeah. But it has to be new too.
Oh, new to yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It's not the... No, Into the Spider-Verse is fantastic. It's one of the best movies of all time.
I'm so psyched for that. It's going to be such a good year of movies in 2023. Anyway, sorry.
It's not my favorite movie. How do I put this? It's not my favorite movie that I saw this year. It's not the best movie I saw this year, but definitely the thing that I still have very fond memories of watching it was the Goofy movie. A Goofy movie. When we watched it for Angel's birthday. Because
that was really fun.
It was overall a great time. It was like, how many? It was like 10 of us.
Yeah, it was a good number of people.
Maybe, it was like 10 of us, and we made a drinking game out of it. It was it's maybe not my favorite movie, but definitely my favorite movie experience, if that makes sense. And
right. No, it does.
I would absolutely take that over my favorite movie of the year, which...
So what's your actual favorite movie? It's not getting the award, I'm just curious.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, I've heard good things about that, actually.
Fantastic movie that I will talk about in the next episode.
We also, next episode, should probably talk about Glass Onion.
Oh, yeah. I also saw Glass Onion during my quarantine. Glass Onion, very good.
So is that like a spin-off of Knives Out, or is it like a sequel?
So Rian Johnson is treating the Knives Out franchise kind of like Agatha Christie novels, which I realize is not a reference that makes sense for you, but it's basically each one's an independent story, but there's like one overarching character, which is Daniel Craig's.
Why not just say The Legend of Zelda?
Blanc. Because it's not separate timelines and stuff. It's one guy who just solves cases. That's just assigned different cases or goes on different cases. So each mystery is a different cast.
Professor Layden,
the detective is the same.
Yeah, then just say Layden or Phoenix Wright.
I don't know. I was just using the reference, the touchstone that Rian Johnson himself used. I don't know. I'm sorry, but yes, it's. Well, no, it's not even Phoenix Wright because Phoenix Wright has repeating characters. It's literally Daniel Craig's character is the only recurring character. Everyone else is new. And every story is separate, and every mystery is separate. So
cool.
But that's not my favorite movie. I feel like I'm very similar to you, Kevin, in that like it wasn't so much the movie, it was the experience and the expectation being so exceeded. So on a whim, I saw Top Gun Maverick, and I never. What'd you say?
Top Gun Maverick. Nice.
No, what'd you say before that? You did not say Top Gun. Sounded like something else. But no, on a whim, we got tickets to see Top Gun Maverick, and we never saw the first Top Gun, so we watched it first here at the apartment, and we're both like, huh, that was very of its time. Is this movie going to be good? Is Maverick going to be good? Like, we went in, we did, Top Gun 1 was like, whatever. Like, I know people hold it near and dear, but like, if you're coming in 30 years later, it's like, what on earth? Like, it's so cheesy. Anyway, we go see Maverick. Blown away by how much better it was. Like it exceeded my expectations so much, and it was in similar vein to like Mad Max Fury Road. It's just really well done, practical effects. Like they really were flying the jets. They really had the cameras in there. Like it had a lot of heart. It was definitely a metaphor for Hollywood as an industry, with Tom Cruise being the one guy who can save the day in the movie, and the one guy who can still do his own actual stunts and stuff in the movies. But yeah, so it being a metaphor for Tom Cruise's career aside, it was just a really well done movie. And comparing it with Top Gun 1 that we watched like literally 90 minutes prior, it caught me off guard so much that it just keeps bringing to mind as like this such a cool surprise to have watched and walked away from being like, wow, that was like really good. So there's probably better movies. I think Glass Onion has a lot going for it, like how it's kind of like a modern period piece is really cool. Everything Everywhere All at Once does some really fun stuff with multiverses, but like, even though those may be like the better movies in some regards, like Top Gun just like really was like a moment in time for me watching that. So that gets my pick this year as well. I don't know why I say as well. I'm the only one that picked it, but you know what I mean. So that's my pick. So congratulations to our movies: Mad Max Fury Road, Top Gun Maverick, and a Goofy movie, courtesy of Kevin.
Hey yo.
Should we jump to TV show and tell me why you're not picking Severance, which is my automatic winner?
I just got my free 3 months of Apple TV again for buying my iPad, so I will actually be checking out Severance during my break.
It's so good.
I watched I was talking to a friend, and I was talking to him about the last season of Rick and Morty, and I told him about some episode where the characters are split between like their day personas and their night personas, but they're like completely different people. And he was like,
"Wait! Rick and Morty's already spoofed Severance? Is it like an actual reference?"
It probably is, because they basically end up like fighting each other because the night people, as they call them, like, are being mistreated, but the day people, are mad that the night people aren't doing the chores because they don't want to deal with that. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen Severance, so I don't know how.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I will know eventually. But it sounds like it is. But I mean, that's kind of funny.
Since we're on the Severance train, should I just really quick say why I picked Severance?
Yeah, you might as well go first.
Want to do yours first? Okay. So Severance was another thing that kind of surprised me. Like, I knew a little bit about it. I knew Ben Stiller directed it, which kind of was like, okay, what's this going to be? And I knew the rough premise of basically this company, well, if they're employees, you can split your, like you're saying, the night and day. They call them innies and outies. So when you're in the company, when you're inside the office, your innie has only the memories of what's going on in the office. When you leave work for the day, your outie, which is your real life self, kind of takes over, and that has only memories of outside work. So the stress of work never goes home. The stress of home life never gets to work. And that's basically the premise. But just the slow burn of that show, and it is slow at the beginning, but the slow burn of that show, the aesthetic of that show, like the kind of retro future 1970s vibe inside their office when they're in their innies. Like, all of it, the mystery of it all, the tension of the final episode without spoiling anything. Like, it just is incredible. The cinematography, it's just so good. Like, I really don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just really well done. Caught me completely off guard as being like as good as it was. Like, I knew it'd be fine. Like, I like Adam Scott, I like Ben Stiller, like I like the concept, I like sci-fi. How bad can it be? But it really, really, really was good, and is good. And I can't wait for season 2, which isn't coming for like another year. But anyway, that's why I picked Severance. There is a pretty good year for TV in general. But yeah, I mean, Severance just blew me away. Anyway, so that's my pick. But you guys, what about you, Angel? I feel like you're gonna start, and then I sort of took it back over for Severance.
Oh, I would just continue the order, but I like that. I liked hearing about Severance. It's definitely one of the shows I've been most curious about. They had something at Comic-Con, right?
They did, and it was so cool. They brought in the whole, like, a big chunk of the actual set, and they recreated the entire show experience. So all the things that the characters do, you got to walk through yourself, and they were using the actual set pieces from the show, and you could like use the computers they use on the show and stuff. And it was one of the best Comic-Con offsites I think I've ever done. I mean, you definitely have to be a fan to appreciate it at the level that I did, but unlike like when we did Blade Runner a few years ago when they did that, and it was just like, oh, if you know a rough thing about Blade Runner, have a good time. Like this one, like the references, they're like forked paths and different.
Yeah, because I didn't watch Blade Runner for the first time until after we did that experience, and it was still really cool. But then after watching at least the first movie, I was like, oh wow, like it really was like that.
Yeah. But like Severance is like the amount of detail they did was insane. And that was the day I got to do the experience, which only had like it sold out fast. You had to log in on some website like 6 a.m. and sign up. And it was gone in like 2 minutes every day. But the same day I did it was also the day that I got to see the panel with the cast and Ben Stiller and the creator, a guy named Eric something. Daniel Eric?
Wait,
Eric
Ben
Daniel.
Stiller
anyway,
directed it?
He directed it, yeah.
I knew he was involved, but it still kind of sounds weird.
It's weird, right? Yeah, no, he directed it. But yeah, no, it was really cool to like have a Severance day at Comic-Con where I got to like go through the experience and literally like live inside the show. It was super cool, and then saw the panel right before or after, so it was like a very cohesive day. But yes, sorry, I can rant about Severance forever. It's so good.
Well, besides looking forward to watch that, my year of TV, obviously because of all the stuff going on, I wasn't really able to keep up with too many new things. I mean, I did watch Cobra Kai season 4 and the last season of Close Enough, and Riding Friends was also hilarious, and even some show that I'm starting to like this new genre of just like very chill, calm, slice of life stuff, like one called The Ingenuity of the House Husband, which is literally just some dude at home alone just figuring out how he's going to sort the trash or what he's going to make for dinner or how he's going to like dry the sheets.
Wait, is this on TV or is this on YouTube?
This is on Netflix. It's like it's like 11
so
minutes
in between. Gotcha.
Yeah. But the series that I saw that I finally got around to watching in January, Jesus. That I'm going to give the award to is Spectacular Spider-Man.
Let's go, baby.
I've always heard that this show was like really good, and I've always just liked the art style. Like it just like it's sleek, it's simple, but like it still conveys a lot of personality. And then I watched it, and I was like just hooked, like with the drama in Peter's life, the origins of the villains. Some of them, like I could name Spider-Man's rogue gallery, or at least like the main ones, but I was still surprised, like just watching the show, like them planting little seeds, and then like 4 episodes later, it's like, oh, this is Electro, or oh, this is well, some are more obvious than others, but it was cool. It was really enjoyable, and then it also just as much that it just kind of ends. Like it has kind of an ending of sort, but it just has so like it sets up so much potential, and it's like, no, I really want to see where the Eddie thing goes. I want to see like where Spider-Man goes, because like, damn, they just do such a good job with like the Spider-Man life versus his work life and how like it easily shatters his relationships. But I don't know, it's crazy. It was awesome, and now I get it. I get why people are so upset. It feels like when I caught up to and beat Half-Life 1 and 2, and then I was like, cool, what's next? Oh, there was never anything next. And that was like 10 years after it came out too. And now it's been another 10 years since I've done that. So
it feels like we were cheated out of something.
Exactly.
Because of the whole Sony losing the deal to Spider-Man, to animated Spider-Man rights. It sucks so bad. And every show that they've replaced it with sucks even more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think
Spider-Man
what hurts
right
more
after
is
that,
after.
disgusting. There was that Spider-Man show where Drake Bell voiced Peter. That show sucked too. There's
like the newest version looks like it's missing, I don't know, like the soul of what makes like a good cartoon. Like it just feels like
it's missing being
made
good
by committee or like
missing.
an assembly line or something. Even visually, it looks so flat. And the Spectacular is a flat looking cartoon, but it's like stylized that way. These look, I don't know, like sometimes they choose to shade people, sometimes they don't. I don't know. It's weird. It's very inconsistent. But
do you?
I mean, I don't really watch all the Marvel shows, but they do pop up from time to time, and I'll take a peek, and it's like, whoa, like yeah, Marvel definitely has their movie money generating machine, but their TV shows, their animated TV shows, at least need a lot of work. At least that's where DC, I guess, have their stuff down.
Do you think that in light of us being in such like a reboot culture in terms of the content we consume and the 90s being back and all that, do you think there's an opportunity for them to get the band back together from Spectacular Spider-Man and just sort of pick it up where they left off?
I remember reading
it's a rights nightmare is the thing, though.
Is it still?
It's just rights, yeah, because Spectacular Spider-Man is a Sony property. So,
interesting. So they didn't just license; they kept the rights to Spectacular Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man animated shows elsewise that's not a word, are all Marvel now.
Yeah,
oh, that's interesting.
That's such a shame.
I mean, they made the movies work. They got Marvel and Sony to cooperate on the movies, so you never know.
I mean, yeah,
but it's also been like 10 years since Spectacular Spider-Man ended.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But I mean, how long was it from when Young Justice ended and it got rebooted? Which is actually my runner-up because I started watching Young Justice kind of for the same reason. Like, I heard good things about it. I checked it out, and I was like, damn, I got really caught up in the drama and like the very intertwined storylines and how like you cannot miss like an episode. It's definitely not one of those that you could just like watch in the middle. But incredibly, I don't know, it was nuts. But Spectacular Spider-Man definitely left a bigger impact, and just hoping it comes back.
Yeah,
more than just like a cameo in the new Spider-Verse movie. Which, I mean, he's there. His face is on the poster. Who knows if we'll actually see him do anything?
Yeah. I do like to think that the Spider-Man from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is that Spider-Man because it's the same voice actor. So,
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
But no,
so you can make your own stories, Angel. Just pick up a copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, one day he just beat up Phoenix Wright and Nemesis for some reason.
Yeah. It's wherever you want it to be. Power of imagination.
Oh, that shows.
What about you, Kevin?
Too good.
This
one's easy. The Bear.
I still need to watch that.
Yeah, you do.
King Bear?
Just The Bear. No.
Oh,
that'll be favorite movie for next year. No, The Bear. It's got this amazing premise. It's got amazing characters. And has like
related to the whale.
One of the most intense episodes of television that I've ever seen. And the show is about running a deli. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Special shout out to Atlanta. I caught up.
She's clapping like they did it. You gotta show up the deli.
He wipes a tear away while slow clapping. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Atlanta. I've caught up with season 3 and season 4. Season 3 was pretty good. Season 4 was pretty great, but season 3 kind of dragged. So for that reason, The Bear takes the overall award.
All right. Well, congratulations to Severance, Spectacular Spider-Man, and The Bear as our Quarantini winners for Best TV Show. We might as well keep the things we put in.
I wish I had my soundboard set up.
I know. We could have had applause. We could have had jeering. We could have had playoff music if we talked too long about one thing or another. It would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But while we're doing things that are in front of our eyeballs, let's keep going down that train, or that train of thought. I'm going to bow out of this one, but for you two, favorite anime?
Ooh, this one is going to be interesting. So anime, damn, it's kind of a sad list. I only started 5 anime this year: Demon Slayer, Ranking of Kings, Mob Psycho, Spy Family, and the winner of my 2022 anime of the year because it's the only other one I finished besides Demon Slayer, or at least caught up to it. Because I still have to finish watching Ranking of Kings, Mob Psycho 3, and Spy Family. Which I've also really bummed to hear that that's it for Mob. At least, like, I don't know if that's true, but I heard that's just it. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
done,
it for
done.
Mob. That's it.
Which I guess is kind of cool.
They adapted
I
all of the manga already.
Damn. Well, yeah. I mean, I'd rather it be short and sweet than, yeah, I guess asking to be mercy killed. But yeah, that still sucks. But that's cool. Looking forward to finishing that. But yeah, the one that caught me by surprise was actually what the ingenuity of the house husband live action show that's on Netflix was based on, which is the anime The Way of the House Husband, which is incredibly short. It's like 10 episodes and they reach like 10 minutes each or something along those lines, maybe less. But it's also like barely animated. It's more like a motion comic. Like the characters barely move, but it's just like, they're like little skits. But I don't know why. I just found it very charming. I just got like sucked into it that by the time I finished it, I'm like, that's it? That's all there was? But then they actually announced a new season on January 1st. So I was like, oh, pretty awesome. But I mean, in a nutshell, it's about this like one of the most feared, deadly members of the Yakuza, just at one point retired, got married to, like someone that has like an office job, and they just decided to just be the house husband. So, they do the dishes, they do the cooking, they clean the house, they take care of the cat, they do all that stuff. And it's just, he has that reputation of being that mafioso, well, I guess Yakuza. So, people fear him. He has like a very intimidating personality that he has to kind of like learn to become a little softer around the edges. But yeah, I don't know. I think just for how much it contrasted everything else that I kind of watch, I think I just kind of stood out. Because obviously I loved season 3 of Demon Slayer. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, I actually rated it higher in my like media consumed document that I used to keep track of. But that's just because, it has a huge budget. You could tell this was like made with minimal budget. But even then, I don't know. I just really liked it. I don't know what it was about it. Just charming, short, slice of lifey. Yeah, just loved it. It's mine.
In that case, I will give the honors to Demon Slayer because holy hell was the Entertainment District arc some of the most hype anime
that battle
that I've seen in a long time. The fact that they were able to rival their movie, which itself was pretty hype, and like go further beyond is insane. I don't care what anybody says about the story. Yeah, the story's pretty, it's not complicated. It's not complex. And the battle system or like the power level system isn't overly complicated. It's just hype. That's all it is. I remember just being on the edge of my seat watching that final fight that happens with Gyotaro and Tengen, and just thinking, man, this is what I thought Dragon Ball Z used to look like. And I don't know, it's just I do like my how do I say this? Sometimes hype is all I need. And during the time, hype was all I needed when watching Demon Slayer. And
I get that. It's like I could honestly watch like Promare or Promare and not pay attention to any of the story, just like tune it out, but just be severely entertained just by how like the adrenaline rush you get from watching the crazy camera angles, the choreographed fights and everything. It's just
like
pure hype.
I love a good character arc. I love good character development. I love all that stuff. I love the quieter moments in anime like Chainsaw Man. But goddamn, do I also like two strong opponents just beating the crap out of each other. And that's what Demon Slayer's Entertainment District arc gave me. So Demon Slayer Season 3 gets my favorite anime. Mob Psycho with a close second. But yeah, we're gonna definitely go.
What about on the manga side of things? Do you guys have any favorites?
Not a manga, but I still very much enjoying the Ninja Turtles comic book.
That counts. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the arc is going in interesting directions. I mean, this is definitely the most I've kept up with any kind of like comic book and or manga, because the other ones are just, the only other manga I read was short and just ended. But yeah, we're like on issue 134. No, 135. And man, Turtles, man, it used to just be about like, four turtles fighting off against a ninja clan to try to survive in New York. Now it's about political unrest in Mutant Town, which is a town inside of New York that got hit with a mutagen bomb that mutated a bunch of people into animal hybrids, but now they're being like basically forced to stay in this mutant town because they don't want them with the other people, even though they used to be people. And like, should they be treated like normal citizens? Should they not be? That's one side of it. There's like primordial beings that are also like scheming on the side to try to take over the world, so they're also trying to stop that on the side. But then there's also alien evil Utrom that they thought they had killed like a couple issues ago, but he's actually back because he can't really die the way they thought he died. And now he's trying to kill a Triceraton, which is an anthropomorphic Triceratops. That is the key to killing their species. And yeah, there's a lot going on. But I've been reading it not from day one, because I don't remember when I started. I started reading around like issue like 80, maybe like 60, 80-ish. I do remember getting issue 1 around the time it came out when we went to Comic-Con, and I got the writer's assignment to draw and sign on it. But then I didn't really read it until much later. But yeah, it's just awesome. They just keep finding new ways to reinvent characters from other mediums, from other turtle past media, like the aforementioned, not this episode, live action Ninja Turtle TV show that is notoriously really bad. You don't even have to watch more than a minute to know how bad it is. But it's mainly known for introducing a female turtle just for the sake of introducing a female turtle. But they even reintroduced that character into the comic in this arc that I'm currently reading in a very interesting way that I definitely did not expect them to even try. But I don't know. It's cool. Now we have technically 6 turtles, 2 female and 4, the classics. But yeah, Ninja Turtles. Keep it going.
Nice. My favorite manga comic is actually sort of a twist, because I remember talking about its anime adaptation and thinking that it was just okay. That manga is Jujutsu Kaisen. Back when we were Quarantine Chronicles, like I said, I talked about the manga, and the animation was really good. It's by MAPPA, the same guys that did Chainsaw Man and this last season of Attack on Titan, plus some other really good stuff. And those arcs that they adapted, like the first couple of arcs, but I decided, just because I couldn't wait for the second season, I decided just to read it. And holy hell, there's an arc that's going to be adapted for the second season called the Shibuya Incident arc. That just like I said, sometimes all I need is hype. The Shibuya Incident arc will probably go down as one of the top 5, if not top 3, arcs in anime history for sure. I can't wait for it to get adapted. And yeah, that's all I got. Jujutsu Kaisen, mediocre start with a really awesome middle part that is fantastic. So give it to that.
Nice. Well, 2 tag back into categories I can give answers to. Should we talk about?
Well, you're not going to recap the winners like you've been doing?
Okay, yeah, it was Ninja Turtles, and
it was an actual war show, Jason. Come on.
I'm doing the Jeff Keighley thing where he just bunches. I'm doing the Jeff Keighley thing where he bunches a bunch together, so they're all bunched. But with Ninja Turtles, it was Jujutsu Kaisen. Right?
Yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen.
That'd be mumbling through it. It was Angel Sing About the House Husband, who but it had 2 different names because there's a Netflix one and then there's the anime original. and I don't remember which one was which.
The thing about the house husband.
Yeah, and then there was Demon Slayer, season 3.
Nice.
There. Okay. Whew. Hosting duties restored. Okay. Well, tagging back into a category that I may have an answer on. Does anyone have a favorite music album of 2022 or something they started listening to in 2022?
I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Someone.
Wait, do you have one?
I do. But you guys could. Do you want
we
me to
all
go
do.
first? Oh.
You go.
Who wants to go first? Okay.
I think mine will be quick because I'm sure you guys have
Go
more
ahead.
to say about your things. But yeah, my album of the year, which I actually bought the vinyl for, is Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. T. Lopes did an amazing job with that soundtrack. My prejudices against like beat 'em ups and all that stuff, and I have to admit that it did kind of like change my views of that genre, which this game has single-handedly like kind of like remedied, which is kind of amazing for a game to do, is to like change my perspective. Well, that's what art. It's art. But point is, like the music, I don't know why. I just wasn't really expecting it to, like, I wasn't really expecting anything super catchy, or at least anything that I would remember after I finished playing the game. Like, yeah, the music's gonna be great. It's gonna be serviceable. It's gonna sound retro-y, but damn, like, not only did the music do a good job of sounding like, I guess a special successor, or almost like, a reimagining of the original soundtrack of those old Ninja Turtle arcade games. Like, you could have told me this was just like a remix of one of the old songs, and I couldn't tell you that it wasn't. But damn, they're just so catchy. They kind of tell the story, like just in the progression that they go through. And I've listened to a good chunk of their songs on rotation since the game came out, which I didn't expect whatsoever. And I don't know, I've just loved it. And it feels very Turtle. It feels very 90s. It feels very arcadey. It was crazy. Surprisingly, though, like that easily won it. But like my runner-up was just to have a runner-up, just because it would also just caught me by surprise. This was something that was recommended by, a couple coworkers in my period where I was just like, I'm going to, no matter what it is, I'm going to listen to everything to check it out. And I kept getting recommended Blackpink. So I just straight up listened to their first album just out of curiosity. And there were a good number of songs in it that I actually just ended up really liking that I did not expect to. Maybe I should listen to more Korean pop. I think that's what it is.
Yes, K-pop.
Can we do awards for awards? Because this is your runner-up is the winner of biggest curveball I wouldn't have seen coming. Never would have guessed you would have said Blackpink, to be honest.
Yeah, there's like, I even have like a favorite song, but
what's the song? Because I want to listen to it after this. And was it?
You never know.
Okay,
but
I'll look it up after this.
But what kind of like that song basically doesn't do a lot of what got me more interested in Blackpink. It was just more like in general a lot of their music is like they kind of like bounce between genres or even like tones and like speeds during it. I don't know, it's weird. It was just a very interesting listening experience. Like you think they're like building up to something and you think you know where it's going, and then it just does something completely different, but it still works. And then they bounce to something else and then they bring it back. It's weird. It's different. And I like that about it. Like I like that the music was kind of challenging me to like remove like my preconceived notions of like how flow should work in in a song. I don't know. It was weird. And it kind of like opened my eyes up to like, check out more of not just of their stuff, but like other stuff in general. Like, because, things have certain genres that feel not necessarily negative stigmas, but they just have like reputations that are like, oh, K-pop is this kind of music, or, boy band music is this kind of music or whatever. So sometimes without even thinking about it, you tend to just like not disregard certain types of music, but you just like gravitate away from listening to them. If I'm just like browsing music in general, I'm just like, oh, what do I feel like listening to? Like I would probably just skip over the K-pop genre without even like giving it a second thought. Not because it's bad or anything.
Like you put it all in one box and just put that box.
Yeah,
aside.
like, oh yeah, country, blah blah blah. Like whatever. Just people have those genres that they just, even if they don't hate them, they just never really give them the time of day because they either assume it's not for them, or because they've never given a shot, they don't know what to expect, and they want to listen to something that's more safe. So yeah, I was kind of glad that I heard of this because it made me, give other things more of a shot. And I've given things more of a shot also. I I keep giving mumble rap or more like things like more of a shot every once in a while, but I still don't like it, and I still can't really get into the lyrics. I think I ended up liking it less sometimes when I listen to what the lyrics are saying, which also goes back to which also goes for a lot of oldie songs. I typically would call myself in general like a really big fan of oldies. Oh man, I actually bothered to listen to the lyrics to a lot of these really oldie songs. I'm talking like 50s and 60s. And songs that I used to really like, now I'm like, this did not age well at all. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I'm similar to you about lyrics. Like lyrics don't I don't pay attention to songs for lyrics. I mean, how else would someone who as a kid was as happy go lucky as me like Linkin Park as much as I did? But yeah, it is interesting when you actually try and listen to the lyrics like a lot because as you know, I listen to a fair amount of rap and like not really like the mumble rap, SoundCloud rap, but like other rap. And case in point, like my runner-up album of the year might be like Pusha T's "It's Almost Dry," I think is what it was called. And like every song, he's like, "Yeah, cocaine. I used to deal cocaine. Like I used to be a drug dealer of cocaine, and like I sold bricks of cocaine and cocaine." I'm not a connoisseur of cocaine, but I like how it sounds, not the lyrics, but the sound of the song, the production, the you know how they put together the beats, like all that stuff. But I don't particularly care about cocaine, and yet I still like the song. So yeah, I get what you mean about the lyrics. You know, kind of sometimes catching you off guard if you like the rest of something.
Yeah, and sometimes it does kind of it does change your perspective on them. Even though, like, sometimes they shouldn't. And sometimes, like, there's some songs that I never really heard before until I finally listened to them. And I'm like, oh, I think I like it more now. Or it feels even more relevant to, like, what I'm going through or how I feel. Which,
Right.
kind of helped with, like with Blackpink. Like, they're not, some of it's in English, some of it's in Korean. So at least, like, the English parts, like, some of the lyrics are like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then other times, it's just another instrument, which is also, like, I also see the voice in most music just as another instrument.
But you know what's funny about
But
that for
but
me?
it's important to listen to them.
I'm not good with songs in different languages. Like I need it to be I don't need it, but I prefer it to be in English, but I don't care what they're saying in English.
If you're gonna be in English, be in English. Or if you're gonna
it's like, listen, if
pick
you're
a
gonna
lane.
sing in English, I will ignore what you're saying. If you want to be like misogynistic rap, I will ignore that. And you can
Damn, so
say
you
the
must really hate
stupidest
those
stuff, but I
mob
want to know you're
intros,
saying the
huh?
stupid stuff. Like I want to hear the stupid stuff. I just don't care that it's stupid, which makes no sense. But yeah, like I can't. Like the whole like Latin music trend right now, like there's a lot of songs that like Latin artists are hopping onto that have like are by someone who sings in English, or like Coldplay did something with BTS at one point, and I was like, that's one of the few I've kind of like let slide. But for most part, I'm like, oh, I don't know what they're saying. This is weird, and like it just bothers me, which makes again zero sense given I don't care about what they're saying, but I just want to know what they're saying. I'm weird. Anyway, Kevin, what was your best? What was your favorite album?
I definitely don't have enough. I don't have as much to say about this album, considering that neither of you two know this band. But if they're listening, Surf Curse, Magic Hour, their newest album. Surf Curse has been one of my favorite bands for a while. You guys actually might know it if you're on TikTok. There's that song called Freaks that apparently got really, really viral on TikTok.
Listen, I'm of the age where I watch reels that are reposts of TikToks. So if I see it on a reel that's reposted from TikTok, I'll let you know.
Then maybe. But aside from that, yep, that's just one of my favorite bands releasing another solid album. That's all I really gotta say.
That's fair. I mean, hey, it's always exciting when a favorite band puts out new music that's like lives up to the expectation, you know.
Yeah, I can't say about same about Arctic Monkeys, this newest album, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for me, if we're talking about coincidentally also a favorite artist situation, this one goes all the way back to the start of 2022. The one that really stuck with me most, I think, is The Weeknd's Dawn FM, which I talked about on the show when it first came out. But it's so cool because it was like, well, one, I really like synth, electronic-y pop stuff like that. But two, it was just a very cohesive like package of an album. The whole thing's set like you're listening to a radio station as you're transitioning into like purgatory or through purgatory. Like it's like you're in a car that's going through it. And it just flows very well. Jim Carrey narrates it as the radio DJ, but all just like it's obviously sliced into songs, but it sounds like one cohesive thing, and it's just really well done. And it's The Weeknd toyed with this sort of stuff with After Hours, his previous album, and a little more before that too, or a little less before that too, with his Starboy album. But just something about the cohesion of Dawn FM and the danciness of it and everything. It's just a really good album, and like I feel like The Weeknd's in like peak form right now, and I'm very excited to see what he does next. And also, I got to see him on tour in September, where he performed this and After Hours, and it was a really, really good show. So it kind of like breathed new life into the album for me. So yeah, that's my pick is Dawn FM. I feel like it's kind of a weird year for albums for me, at least. Like there are a lot of singles and individual and like pieces of albums I really like 3 or 4 songs here, 3 or 4 songs there. But there were very few like cohesive projects, like full projects where I would listen front to back. I think The Weeknd was the biggie. I mentioned Pusha T. There's this rapper named IDK who put out something called Simple with K Tronado was the producer on it. It's like a 5-6 song EP that was really solid. Yeah, for the most part, it's also like a smattering of random songs this year. So it was kind of interesting not to have more actual full albums to choose from. So, but Dawn FM would have taken it regardless of what else came out, to be honest. So yeah, that's my best album. So congrats to I'm sorry, Ken, what did you say the band was that yours was? Right. Okay. So congrats to Surf Curse.
Yep.
Surf Curse.
Yep.
Them. Yep. Congrats to them. Congrats to The Weeknd. Congrats to the Ninja Turtle composer, and I guess shout out to Blackpink.
And Lisa.
Here's a category that Angel made a point to make sure we include because he said it every time we talked about this. He's like, don't forget this one. So, Angel, what is your favorite product of 2022 and why?
Well, I think I said it earlier, but my favorite product, or at least like my new thing that I bought this year, was my new 12-inch iPad Pro, because I've had an 11-inch one for a while now. But in general, just it's nice having one that won't crash on me every once in a while when I'm trying to draw. So it's just been an amazing upgrade. It's just the bigger screen and everything. But if you want to get something a little more quirky, that isn't just like, it's this new electronic of the year. My actual favorite product of the year is something I got relatively recently. It's a chopstick holder, but it's in the shape of a cockatiel. And it's pretty amazing. And it makes me happy every time I look at it. It doesn't do much, but the fact that it makes me smile no matter what is great. And I wish all products did that. I'll send a picture right.
I can say the exact same thing about my product of the year, which is the Steam
Little
Deck.
glass figurine.
It doesn't do much, but it makes me smile whenever I see it.
Wait, what'd you say?
My Steam Deck. It doesn't do much, but it makes me smile
Doesn't
whenever I see it. So.
I wish I could say my favorite. I guess kind of same deal. The Playdate doesn't do much anymore. We talked about pros and cons.
That's how
I know.
Wow, really?
I think he did. Yeah,
got rid of it.
Like conceptually, I think the Playdate's super cool. I like the idea of an indie game machine. I like the crank and the quirk. We'll circle. Oh, that's a really cool chopstick holder. It's so for people at home that can't see it because you're not all in our little RAM Nintendo group chat. It looks like a bird that's sitting, like just sitting and lounging, like a bird sits. But its back is where you put the chopstick, and its tail's up in the air to hold the chopstick in place.
Yep.
Is that an accurate description, you'd say?
Yep. Just a bird on its back.
But anyway, the Playdate, conceptually it's really cool. I think the crank is a really fun, I love weird control inputs. I think one of the reasons I'm such a big Nintendo fan is because they do so much weird stuff that's just out there and bizarre and quirky, and the Playdate captures that spirit perfectly. But man, that screen is small. Man, that lack of a backlight really actually was a hindrance for me. And just the way they rolled out the game so quickly and then just nothing, it just it has some growing pains. But I think just on principle, it should be my favorite product. I will give a shout out. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I'm going to give a shout out to the Apple Watch Series 7 as well. Because to this day, I've had it since May. I upgraded from a Series 3. And to this day, every time I look at the screen, I always think, wow, the screen's so much bigger. It's really not much bigger. It's 2 millimeters bigger. But the fact that 7 months later, I'm still wow, look at that screen. That's a sign of a pretty quality product if I'm still impressed with the screen after 7 months. So I feel like in concept, Playdate should get. In actuality, my Apple Watch is what's getting it. But congratulations to the other winners, including a cockatiel chopstick holder and a Steam Deck that sits.
I actually do want to do one more shout out. This one didn't get it, but it definitely, actually, it still wouldn't have beaten the cockatiel chopstick holder. That one is a pretty tough one to beat. But I definitely have to shout out the Analog Pocket because it did arrive this year, even though I bought it a year ago. I'll talk way more about it in depth on a regular episode, but it actually achieved its sole purpose. Yes, I did spend $250 on a Game Boy Color that looks like it was made by Apple. That feels like it was also made by Apple. Like, it feels premium as heck,
slick,
but
let's be honest.
But it has like an amazing screen, and it has all the hardware needed to run these games naturally, not like through emulation, which it also can do. So I can also like load up everything to a micro SD card, but I want to run my original cartridges because I still have a bunch of them, especially the Japanese Rhythm Heaven cartridge that I played on my 3DS, and it was fun, but like it wasn't crisp and clear as it could have been. And this thing delivered in spades, and I've been playing Rhythm Heaven Game Boy Advance on it since then, as well as my Game Boy camera, which is super awesome. I think I'm actually just going to take that to Japan, just take pictures with it, all 10 picture slots that it lets me take. But and I did find the Game Boy printer that we got at that book off as well. So
you did find it?
Yeah,
you found it. Oh, you're gonna need what you need to do is take that to Japan and print out the sets of 10 photos, and then you could just clear them out and make more, and then you have a little scrapbook you could put together Game Boy camera photos from your trip.
Yeah, very horrible low quality. One of the first cameras, like digital cameras,
0.2 megapixels.
Wow. Probably one of the first ones that actually like let you take a selfie naturally. I don't know.
Yeah, Nintendo was ahead of the curve on selfies.
Wow.
Nintendo's ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff. Their weird quirkiness that I was just commending a minute ago, like that has put them at the forefront of a lot of stuff that was just ahead of its time. I mean, touchscreen on the DS was 4 or 5 years before the iPhone.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Analog Pocket. Awesome piece of tech. But nothing beats a cockatiel chopstick holder.
I actually want to rescind my award. I'm sorry.
You're taking back the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I gotta.
Oh man, you're gonna make me rip the envelope off of the.
Yep.
Is this like when La La Land actually won?
The producer's running up on stage. He's apologizing to the audience.
The Quarantinis are having a La La Land moment. Wow, we're big now, guys. We made it.
No, but
the creator of Half-Life is crying.
Yeah,
just home run out.
Gabe Newell was crying in a corner.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
I
want to see him.
I totally forgot. My product of the year is my keyboard that I made. My first keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a really good one. Actually, well worth the rescinding.
Wow.
I totally forgot about it. Yeah, this thing. I love this thing. I use it every day. And every day it's like I'm using it for the first time because I just love how it sounds. I love how it feels. And I made it. It's a little piece of me now. It's a little piece of Gomi history, and can't wait to build.
And all the keys are fully modular, right?
I'm sorry?
And the keys are fully modular?
I don't know if you know what modular means.
Doesn't that just mean you could like customize them, like remove them and put different ones on? Isn't that what modular is?
I guess in a sense, but what you're thinking of is the switches are hot swappable. So I can switch out the key switches so I can make them sound clackier if I want. Well, I can't make them sound clackier. I'd have to buy new switches. But yes, every single piece of this I can, with the exception of the board and the frame itself, I can replace with pieces that I want.
I just need to look up what exactly modular means. But I don't want to.
No, I thought that was what modular meant. I just really enjoyed how you said that, Kevin. I don't know if you know what that means.
Well, I guess
I thought that is what modular is.
You do know what modular means, but I guess just it doesn't fit the description of what. A keyboard, I guess, can't be modular. It can be customizable.
Modular is usually the full parts are swappable. So, like, it wouldn't be like, you
can
swap.
Because you can not only change the keycaps, but you could also, like you said, also change, like, the switches.
No, but modular would be, like, a good example of modular, I think, is there's this phone a while ago that tried to let you replace different parts. So, like, if you want to, like, put on a bigger battery, you can pop off the battery.
I think it was,
was it? Yeah.
Google Aria or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So that, where it's like, oh, do you want, like, this battery pack HTC did it too. Like, do you want a bigger camera? Okay, pop off the big battery, put on the big camera. But they were all like self-contained units that you swapped. So those elements were modular, but each thing was like a fully built, baked piece.
Yeah, I could see Hot Supplewood just being a cleaner way of saying it instead of it has modular elements or something.
Yeah.
But,
I apologize, Andrew. You do know what modular means.
That was
maybe,
just
maybe I won't give this back to the maybe I won't give this back to the Steam Deck.
No, I think the keyboard deserves
it more because that just sits.
I mean, you sent us a photo of it a while ago. I don't know where you posted it, but that thing looked nice. And the knob, I don't know why, but the knob is my eyes just always go to it because it's like, why does the keyboard have a knob? But
yeah,
well, it stands. It's the only round thing on a square keyboard. Like everything's square, and then there's a little circle.
And also has heated gun on it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I built 2 more keyboards after this one, but this is still my first love. I love this thing.
Damn.
Well, this is a good potential segue then to the next category. First of all, congratulations to our products, of which there are so many because we kept flopping around. So I'm just gonna say congrats to all of them. But it segues well. What would you say your favorite experience of 2022 was? Was getting into keyboard building up there for you, Kevin?
No, not necessarily. So I hadn't traveled since we came back from COVID until this year. I know it's travel, kind of lame, but no, I went to Orlando, which I'm gonna be honest, really sucked. But there's just something about like not being home that I really like. And so even if it was a nice hotel, but even if it was Orlando, I was still away from home. And I went to Minnesota, which was really cool. Went to Minneapolis, that was awesome. All for work, but still getting to know, walk around town a little bit. It's really cool.
Explore.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it.
I love exploring new places. Yeah.
So like traveling, being able to travel was really cool. That was my favorite experience.
That's a really good answer. Yeah, that's not too far removed from mine. But I'm curious, Angel, what would you say your favorite experience of the year was?
It's so tough. I'm kind of cheating with mine. Like the runner-up.
I'm gonna be cheating with mine too.
Yeah, then I probably know what it is. Oh, actually, I probably don't. But yeah, my runner-up, just because I have to call it out, was just Lego this year. I had a lot of good experiences of building so many different Legos, especially the Bowser one. I don't know what it is like, but it's just amazing. I love how like you could tell they put so much attention to like just the building process. I'm not even talking about like, just how the final product looks, but you could tell like they try to make it as entertaining as possible. Like if you're gonna do something very repetitive for a while, they'll break it up so that you do like a couple, then you switch to something else, then you'll come back to do a couple more, then you switch to something else. It's like I didn't expect it to be that level of like entertainment, because I guess building it is supposed to be, half the fun, or most of the fun. Half the time you just keep the figure, the statue, or the set built, and that's it. Like you never build it again. So I guess it makes sense that they try to make the building experience as fun as possible. But obviously, I would have to give it to, and this is why I'm cheating, because I'm just counting it convention season, which is just like July.
Oh, I'm cheating worse than that, so you're good.
Because like I can't really pick between Anime Expo and Comic Con, because Anime Expo I felt like was one of the best Anime Expos I've had in many, many years. It was just incredibly chill. Probably the longest I've stayed at the convention, like than any other year. Like almost like the entire day, every single day, and every day was just something new. Just went to a bunch of panels I normally wouldn't go to that were entertaining. Like I don't know, just got a lot of open what's the word I'm looking for? Incredibly fun, incredibly chill, incredibly eye opening. Just wouldn't, I don't know, just wish more like that. And it was also kind of like where the cockatiel world idea like kind of like incepted. Like it's always kind of been there, but it's like where like it was like the decision was made like, yes, this is what I'm gonna be pursuing later.
You should elaborate on that, because I don't think you've talked about on the show your cockatiel world idea.
I haven't?
I don't think so.
I mean, a quick nutshell. I've already been drawing so many cockatiels. Like, there's just so many. I did like one every single week. I don't know if I've posted any on here. I used to post them on my Twitter. I kind of stopped doing that. I might need to figure that whole thing out. But essentially, as a side gig, my goal is to just start a business with just my cockatiel art, be it as stickers, books, little short comics, what have you. I don't know how much of my life it will consume. I don't know where we'll go. Eventually, I would love to do figurines, like just basically like nothing off the table, like what I could do with these because there's no like cockatiel market. And if someone takes that idea and runs with it before me, then that would suck. But I will still pursue it anyway. But I did
and
already
a
at least
point,
claim all my website and domains and stuff. I kept that so far. But yeah.
One point of clarification, because again, I don't know how many people listening know this or saw it on Twitter when you used to post it. These aren't just like, here's a cockatiel, here's another cockatiel. Angel does really cool art where he themes these cockatiels around various things in and out of pop culture. Like it's all these different cocktails and different outfits that are referencing different things and different designs, and like they're all cohesive in how the cocktail looks, but they have all these cool winks and nods. He'll like layer multiple references onto a single one. He'll do ones that are complete like wink and nod to specific things. Like it's really cool. It's really elaborate. You've done like what, hundreds of them by now or something like that?
It's like 80 something. It's getting there.
Okay, 80. Yeah. But it's so that's when you say you're drawing cockatiels, that's kind of the context. It's not just like here's a bird and here's another bird. They're really cool.
Yeah, it's just kind of like pushing my drawing hobby or my passion just to like its appropriate level. Like at some point in my career, I decided I didn't want to pursue animation as like what I wanted to be like my main career. I did want it to be something that it's always giving me joy, or just something that I just really want to do. I ultimately like whether be it animation, be it drawing, I want to be doing stuff that I want to do, and less so like animating for someone else. Even if like, oh, I get to animate on the new Ninja Turtle movie. Like, yeah, that's cool. But at the end of the day, like, I have to take that direction. I have to like animate it kind of how they want. There's still some stuff I can inject there. Like, there's a lot of wiggle room in animation for that. But if I want to make a short of a cockatiel doing, I don't know, 10 kickflips for whatever reason, then I can do that. I don't need to go through producers and directors. But yeah, Anime Expo, super amazing. Also spent more money at Anime Expo this year than any Anime Expo ever, and maybe even Comic Con. I spent a lot. And obviously Comic Con, also part of that convention season award, because this year was probably one of the most amazing Comic Cons as well. We went to a free Dragon Ball concert, still got to meet, again, the Ninja Turtle creator. It was a little faster and quicker than I would have liked, but still got a signature, still got to say hi. Got to walk around, see the giant Bowser statue, got to catch up with a bunch of friends. It was chill. Got to enter another Smash tourney. I don't know. I actually didn't win this time, but that opponent was really, really good. So actually it was kind of like a nice like closure to that. I ended up winning. When you won, like you just got like a random pop from a box, and I somehow ended up with like a humongous pop. Like it was like from the Eternals or something, and I ended up just giving it to someone that was just like walking, like just.
It was this like really sweet kid that you gave it to, who was so excited to have gotten this like giant. Yeah, it was from Eternals. It was this huge like XL pop, and they were thrilled. I think you made that kid's day, honestly.
No, yeah, they seemed really happy, but it's like I'm not gonna carry that around all day. But it's better off going to someone else. But yeah, convention season was strong this year, and glad it was, because I know at the very least I'm kind of taking a break from Comic Con. Like I might still go for one day. I did buy one day. We had the option to buy all four, as we luckily always usually do, but I just chose the one day to at least have the option to buy, and enter the raffle multiple times every year. But yeah, whether I even go this year is still up in the air. But I just needed a break from Comic Con. Anime Expo, not really burnt out on it just because it's smaller in general. But yeah, great year for conventions. This was a great year to go back to them in full force, I guess, because they were both closed for a while. Anime Expo had such a weird, like, back and forth before it started. The whole like, oh, we're gonna cancel. Oh, we're not gonna like honor people's refunds, and and
no vax. Now there's vax. Yeah,
but it worked out. It was so crowded as heck, but it worked out.
I'm merging your two. So mine is a total cop out for best experience. Well, if I need to give a very
2022 was my best.
2022 was a great year. But no, that's basically what I'm saying. So the thing, if I had to give a very specific one, I might say the Severance thing I was describing before, the interactive experience, because that was super cool. But honestly, just the return to like more normalcy was so nice. It was so great to be able to go to Comic-Con and hang out with you guys down there, and like all be in a hotel room and not be like, oh, we have to like distance and da 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 da. It was super great to be able to travel as much as I did this summer. Just by, I don't know if it was like pent up travel angst or what, but I was like for a while there doing like a trip a month to various places, San Diego, Seattle, whatever. And then again, I did like New York and then just Utah this past week. Like it's really nice to be able to go places, experience new things, reconnect with old friends in familiar places. Like I went to Seattle, I hung out with an old high school friend that I didn't get to see that much in the last couple of years. Go to concerts, go to comedy shows, like just being able to be out there again and not really like I'll mask up, I'll be safe, I'm boosted, all that jazz. But like to be able to do that and have the option to then proceed with life was really nice. And this year felt like the year that finally like kind of came back to reality. Like, stuff like being able to go to a music festival when we were Young Fest in Vegas. Like I wouldn't have done that a year ago or 2 years ago. It's super cool to be able to do that. Or like, I got to do the Taylor. I talk about clutch. Literally 4 hours before the show started, I was able to secure a floor ticket to the Foo Fighters Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, thanks to my, I guess now fiance. I don't know how she did it. Face value, got the ticket.
But getting
yes,
engaged wasn't your favorite experience?
Oh, he said that was
I
a low
guess it
point.
was. No, it was not a low point. No, it was. Obviously it was. Actually, in terms of the next category, that's where that factors in more. Getting engaged was certainly super exciting. And I think it goes back to the idea of like just normalcy. The fact that me and her were able to travel and go places, and I was able to propose like in New York on a rooftop in Brooklyn that overlooked all of Manhattan. Like couldn't do that 18 months ago. Couldn't do that a year ago as easily. So it's just really great to have all those opportunities as a whole again and like kind of go back to life. So that it's a cop out because I'm basically saying everything this year was awesome, but like honestly, it was so nice to be able to like connect with people again, hang out with you guys at Comic-Con, do things like be able to fly across the country and propose. Like it was all just that whole concept of like life was really cool again. So yeah, my answer is 2022 as a whole is my favorite thing about 2022. But no, honestly, it's nice. We still have, still got to be cautious, but it was nice to be able to work within that safety net and caution. But it does roll into another thing. So this episode goes up on January 1st. So we're in 2023 essentially by the time people hear this. So do you guys have anything you're really looking forward to in 2023 as we kind of move into the new year?
Let's see. I mean, just off the top of my head, games-wise, surprisingly no. At least not right now. The thing I could think of, just mainly playing games that I still want to beat. We're still finishing off the Tales game, so I guess the new Tales games, I'll be able to start with my brother, which, maybe some of them will make the list for our Quarantinis next year. Definitely looking forward to, just new seasons on some shows, obviously, but to call out some things, more so than Spider-Verse, maybe because I'm trying to keep my expectations very tempered, almost to the point where I'm just like trying not to think about Spider-Verse too much or the Mario movie. But there's those. Obviously my upcoming trip to Japan, it's happening so soon, it still feels like it's part of this year. But obviously that's a huge thing I'm looking forward to. I mean, it's going to be hard to top starting the year with that, but I'm actually going to go to WonderCon this year in March or whenever it is.
Oh, you are?
And then there's Anime Expo again, but I don't know, also just seeing what living in a new city is like, just getting down to a new routine. I mean, it'll be nice. So, yeah, a lot of that. Pinocchio.
What about you, Kevin?
Looking forward to watching that. It might happen next year at this point.
Del Toro's Pinocchio?
Yeah.
It's good. I saw it the other night. We can talk about it next episode.
Oh, nice, yeah. I'm gonna
the stop motion's super impressive.
Yeah, if I don't watch it with my sister and brother-in-law, I'll just watch it by myself because I've been wanting to watch it.
It's fun. It's good. Kind of dark, but good.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Kevin, what about you? 2023 things?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my nasal problems fixed. Can't wait for that.
Oh.
God damn, it's been a year and a half.
More so than just a season changing? Or
wait, do you mean like healing, or like are you doing a procedure?
I don't know. I still have yet to see a head, nose, throat, ear, eyelid doctor, whatever they're called.
Eyelid?
I don't know, the head doctor. We have to see a head doctor, so finally seeing one in early January. So they'll let me know what's wrong with my nose, and then we'll go from there.
That's a good thing good health is a good thing to look forward to. Yes.
Fantastic. I can't wait.
Fair one. I think for me, it's like the three M's. I'm really excited about the Mario movie. I'm really excited about the Mario Nintendo World. Like, it's basically a Mario theme park. So that opens in February. Mario movie's in April. And of course, because you guys already called it out, but the biggest M of the three M's is marriage. That's happening back quarter of next year. So it's usually going into a new year, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. There'll be some cool stuff. There'll be some cool games. This is the first year in a long time that I'm like, there are three major things I'm super psyched for. And of course, it's playing between. There's Con again. I'm doing a trip to Hawaii over the summer for a week. Like, there's a bunch of stuff, but like those three, there's games, Pikmin 4, Zelda. But the three M's for me, the of 2023, Mario movie, Mario theme park, marriage. In that order of importance. No, but so that's kind of like, this is the first time in a long time I'm really psyched about a new year happening versus it just being a rollover of what's already been going on. So should be a cool year, and you guys will be at the wedding, or at least invited, obviously. So
crap, that reminds me. I have to reply to one of my other friends who told me to save the date.
I'd save the dates coming out sometime. Well, I'm sorry, listeners, you will not be receiving save the dates. I don't have enough room, but you guys will be getting something probably in a couple months. We already have the venue locked in.
Oh wow, nice.
So, yeah, we managed to get it in like a week from when we started to when we booked it. So it's all coming together.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah. So it's super exciting. It's such a big life change, but it feels so like organic and like the right time. So I'm really excited about it. But yeah, 2023 should be a fun year. I guess that does it. Anything else you guys want to touch on as part of the Quarantinis?
I think
I guess we kind of touched everything. I mean, it was almost as long as an award show.
Yeah, I was gonna say it just ran as long as an award show. So, with that, I guess we'll do what every award show does, which is just it ends very anticlimactically with just good night. But we do have to do our housekeeping. So, first of all, thanks to everyone that's been along for the ride with Random Nintendo turning into Randomer Nintendo throughout 2022. We had that transition. I think I speak on behalf of all three of us, but certainly from my perspective, it's great that so many of you stuck around and continued listening, and we appreciate the support and the feedback that you leave on Twitter and in comments and on YouTube and all that jazz. And if you want to become part of the people that leave the feedback, you can find us on Twitter at Ram Nintendo. You can find us on YouTube at Ram Nintendo. You can find us on podcast apps of your choosing, be it Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and I already said YouTube, so we're good there. Individually, we're on the Twitters. I am JSR7, Angel is Wero, WEIRO_O. Kevin is KVN Gomi. I think that might be about it. I'm going to let you two fight to the death for a final word.
Oh, you win, Angel. Congratulations.
Oh, no.